records on his way back, said he should come in about 2 minutes after 7.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, I had a ball. I went back, and that lady in Wallace, she just, honey, I'll be your friend. And I helped her out with, like I say, one of her sons. She got 4 kids. They start from 42 and go down to 16.
Oh my gosh!
And she's been divorced 9 years and all that mess. And she, I'm not ever getting married again. Understand that? I said, you're barking up the wrong tree. She tries. No,
I had
the wrong tree.
Since I divorced in 1992. Since then, I've had 2 long relationships, but they both ended after 7-8 years of them cheating on me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, done.
Well,
I'm happy.
If I commit, if I commit to anybody, I'll commit to them. Now, whether I get married or not, I doubt it. I've been married 4 times. It's 2 times too many.
Well, you fit right in the family. My sister's been married. My oldest brother's been married.
Belle went to school with her, and she was last year.
Oh,
Donnie Avery.
I knew Donnie.
And I always told Julie in school, I said, you always be, when she graduated, she was a year ahead of me, and I always told her, I said, Julie, you always be in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And she contacted me, and I talked to her a minute, and she called me. And we just got to talking, and she said, how many times you been married? I said, 2 many. And she said, well, I've been married 4 times. And I said, damn, join the crowd. But we talked, and we're friends.
Right.
And I told her, I said, if you ever, her daddy's got Alzheimer's, Mr. Bell. I've always called him Mr. Bell. Love him to death.
What's his first name? James? No, what's his name?
Who, Mr. Bell?
Yeah, what's it? Because I used to deliver all their mail.
Oh, yeah, right there across the states.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I always called him Mr. Bell, and I mean, he's a nice guy, because he was...
Starting on the Country Club Drive, over here is 4H Moxley.
But she was talking to me last night, and she's...
Why?
Why not? But I got a lot of things, and that's what I'm enjoying it. I mean, I'm not having,
6:59.
I'm not sexually running around trying to screw everybody. But now, I ain't gonna say no if the right one comes. I mean, if you want to leave unless we can go get a hotel, I'll be ready to heart. You know I love you. But I even told her, like I say, she's taking care of her mom and dad. He's got Alzheimer's, and her mom had broke her leg a while back. And she's having the time of that. And I said, look, get your things settled down. I said, if you ever want to go out and grab something to eat, let me know. I said, it'd be my treat. I mean, I'll go out and told you the same thing. If you ever want to go out to eat, let me know.
Where is his headphones? Are we getting ready to go? All right. Well. Good morning, everyone. I am holding the seat down. Rayford's coming in the door now. So we'll just want to wish everyone a good Friday morning and hope everyone's doing well this morning. For all those that overate last night, I hope you're relaxing. I know last night, about the only thing that fit me last night after all that food were my flip-flops. It was just a lot of food, and I hope everyone did well. But anyway, the man has just walked in the door, so I'm going to turn you over to him. There you go.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Well.
Well, yeah.
That was your, let's see if I can get headphones on, get microphones turned up.
I'm good.
There's the one there. You're good. And,
I know your microphone. I'm like, I touched it, it flopped, and I'm like, okay. That's
Well,
all
he's
right.
old. He's gonna flop.
Well, a little late here this morning, but I was actually really early, but I had to make a run, and they were late.
You did good.
Brought you something.
Food.
A bag.
A bag of
It's got,
sausage biscuits.
it's got food in it.
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
Oh. It's going to take me an hour or two to get ready for that.
Well, whatever, whenever you want.
My favorite holiday has come.
Yes.
Day after Christmas. I mean, day after Thanksgiving.
No, but
Black Friday.
it certainly has not gone anywhere. I crammed as much food as I could,
Oh, I did too.
as much food as I could hold. I crammed more food than I could hold.
I was sitting there gnawing
But
on
I
a turkey
did it
leg last
anyway.
night and eating collards, and I needed them like a, God almighty.
I
Uh-huh.
love
They
collards.
were good. Gene Williams can cook a collard.
So you got the right seasoning in it. They're good.
Oh, yeah. Smoked neck bone.
The pain slowly subsided overnight.
It was rough after everybody
I
left the
slept
house
good.
last night.
Uh-huh.
I was like, I had to crawl
Well,
down the hallway to
we
the
were
bedroom.
We were the only ones here, along with a herd of critters.
Mm.
My wife is not feeling well.
I know.
That's
So
right.
she's down.
Well, I got the cure right here.
Food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she came
Yep.
to visit me this
Yeah, I
morning.
see that she made it down here.
Yeah, she did. I was
Because
like,
gonna
get back
bring
up
it
there.
downstairs. Yeah, I don't know why she did it.
Bless her. She's such a good.
You
she's such a
busted her
good
out,
woman.
so now she has to be punished.
No, no.
Oh,
she
yeah.
probably needed that little bit of stretch.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Well, anywho, welcome to Friday. It is a Black Friday, Good
Mhm.
Friday. No, Good Friday is later. That's in
Before
the
Easter.
spring.
who's going out shopping today?
Well, I am a
Fools.
little bit, but
Lots of fools. Lots of fools.
Not me.
I don't have any reason to do any of that. Yeah, it was a fun thing. Good thing was that all I did yesterday, all that I did. Well, I had already the day before taken the turkey out and cleaned that little bird and made some gravy using the innards. And so that's what I did on. I injected the bird. Did I mention that? With a bunch of special stuff. Then I put some rub on the bird, on the inside and the out. I took my time. Took longer this year to prep that bird than any time I've ever done a bird. And we kind of counted up, and over the last 30 years, about 100 deep fried birds, because I've done there for a while. Another guy and I, we were deep frying 6 to 9 the week before Thanksgiving, just for people who wanted them. So we did that. So I brought 100 birds in. And so all I did yesterday is put the Earl in the bucket, turned the far on it.
Turn fire on.
Far.
Turn far
I got
on.
to 370 degrees, and I put that old bird down in there.
Well,
And she cooked at 350 degrees.
Yep.
Came out 5 minutes later than I anticipated, which all you can do is take a wild guess. You got to go by the thermometer. So the thermometer, when it got to 167, 68 degrees, she came out. And she set up and got up to 177 degrees. And then I sliced her.
Yeah.
I cut her. Cut her good.
oh my gosh.
There was-
Okay.
And there was
Cut
a
'em.
lot of turkey
Cut
and
her
some
good.
turkey left over. And even if I do say so, I got to remember to base and to not to base, to do this like I did this year.
Yeah.
I'll try to remember that for next year.
I love it when people fry turkeys. They got their own deal.
Yeah.
I mean, you got yours. And,
Yeah.
and I went to a friend's house yesterday, and there's a guy named Pete Brands. He is a custom motorcycle mechanic. He goes all over the United States. He is hired to go, and he lives right outside of Richlands. Him and his lovely wife Roxanne, and she's into donkeys, and that's how I got to know him. But he fried 2 turkeys yesterday, and he told me, he said, "Now I injected this one, with a jalapeno Creole."
Yep.
He said,
I'm
"I
gonna do that.
injected this one with a butter type Creole," and I said, "Okay." And I'm not into jalapeno.
Uh-huh.
And he told me, he
You
said,
wouldn't
"This
know
is
the
not
difference.
he's this not hot." So when we all got to eat, and my daddy raised me,
Don't turn nothing down.
the kids eat first. Always make sure and I'm always usually the last to get a plate, but I got my turkey and I said, well, I'm going to try a piece of it, just a little piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat down and ate, and I was eating Gene Williams collards, and they were just fantastic. And I took a piece of that jalapeno Creole turkey, and let me tell you something. It melted in my mouth. And I got back up, and that's what I got. And when I left, I took both legs and thighs with me. They didn't want them.
Oh, really?
Because I love the dark meat turkey. Oh, yeah.
You got to do that.
He said, you take this home, and I've got the 2 legs right there. And I went home, and last night I wasn't even hungry. But I got to thinking about them legs in there, and I went and grabbed one, and I'm gnawing on it. And you talk about I said, man.
It makes it good.
And I said, son, I said, I messaged Pete. I said, next time I want fried turkey, I'm just going to bring it to you. And he come back and he put the LOL on it. He said, anytime, my buddy. And he's a fantastic guy. He retired out of the Marine Corps, him and his wife both. And I pick on him because she was 1 rank higher than he was when they retired.
They all are, whether they have the stripes or not.
And that's what I get on him. But the cool thing about Pete, he's not into donkeys. Roxanne is. She's got an African wild ass. That is what type of donkey it is. And
what?
It's called an African. You can look it up. This donkey has African wild ass in it.
Sounds
No, it's just a type. Donkeys actually originated in 2 different places in the world.
I almost.
And one was Africa, and that's what we call them. Yeah. But she was mean. And I had the donkey.
Oh, okay.
The mean, and I had to throw her, flip her on the ground to trim her. First time I ever trimmed her.
It was too easy.
2 before.
Yeah.
It's too easy.
And the next time Pete was home, and he said, well, I'm going to go out there and watch him, blah, blah, blah. And he went out there, and that donkey come up next to him.
Oh.
And he started giving her treats and rubbing her, and I made her last to trim her because I knew she was going to be bad.
So?
She stood there, and he fed her, and he rubbed her. She didn't move. I trimmed her off.
It's all in the way you handle.
And I told him, I said,
you just don't know how to handle the woman. He does.
Evidently. And I told him, I said, Pete, I said, you might be a motorcycle mechanic, son, but you are a bona fide wild ass donkey whisperer, son. She loves this guy.
Oh, good.
She loves, but Ruth loves Pete to no end, and he really don't care.
Maybe she just doesn't like you. And
she don't. Well, she evidently she don't like Roxanne either.
Oh, well,
but So when I go trim the donkeys, I told him, you're going to be here. If you ain't here, I ain't coming. But she loves this man to no end. I told him one day, I said, Pete, I said, Ruth loves you better than your wife Roxanne does. But it's just amazing what he did. African wild asses are tough donkeys. They are tough to trim.
Well, okay.
Now, I know you looked it up, didn't you?
No.
You didn't?
No, I'm tracking Chris right now. He's currently over Alabama. Our PA announcer for tonight.
His IQ just went up 100 points if he's going over Alabama.
He's going over Alabama. He's expected to land at 7:59.
And he's got some new material for us at the ball game tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
Something about
something about whatever. I don't know.
Third down.
Third down information. Okay, so
he got tainted last night. No, not really.
Well, he was at the Cowboys won.
He was at the Dallas Chiefs game last night in Texas.
My condolences, Kathy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Kathy was all dressed out in her Chiefs gear, and Chris was all dressed out in his Dallas gear. And Kathy texted me, said, "Which team are you going for?" I knew better. I said neither, because if she's Chiefs and he's Cowboys, I'm not getting in the middle.
I was
of
pulling for the Chiefs Sunday. What was the prelude to what is now called the first Super Bowl game? That's not what it was called back in the 60s. Mm-hmm. The first game was with Kansas City, okay?
Right.
So I was pulling for Kansas City, and I didn't follow football, but I was a captive audience of 4, and we had a TV.
Right.
And the people around me, we weren't old enough to drive. They just dumped us off in a location, and we either watched it or did nothing.
Well,
had rabbit ear,
Mhm.
one rabbit ear. Somebody
One
stole the
ear.
other one.
Mm-hmm.
well, truthfully, I was leaning towards Dallas last night.
Now you say.
No, truth. I was leaning. Either team would have been great with me,
That's
but I
what
was leaning. But let me tell you what, Rayford,
Mhm.
that was like watching a Jacksonville high school game. My gosh,
okay.
right down to the wire. It was a good game.
What was it? 3 points, I think.
Oh, I think
Close to
so.
it, something
yeah,
like that.
something like that. But it was a very good game, and congratulations to the Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys and to all you fans.
So did you cook the turkey at all?
No.
You
Are
didn't.
we going back to
I
turkey?
brought a cake and I brought a knife and I brought some drinks. That's all they wanted me
A
to bring.
knife?
Wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I stopped at Piggly Wiggly, my favorite place to shop and eat, and I bought a cake. And I said, man, I need something to cut it with. So I went down the aisle and bought a knife. Got a knife.
Ah.
And
So you didn't have nothing with you. You bought that on the way over?
Yeah, and that's what they had to ask me to do. And then
On the way over. Not
on the way
in,
over.
you didn't get it in advance.
No,
No prep in
No, I had a
You
friend
waited
of
till
mine
the
at
last
the
second.
No, not really. I had it planned. I just didn't execute it till the last second.
Okay.
But they loved it. The kids loved the cake. It was one of those 10-layer chocolate cakes.
Oh, wow.
And Piggly Wiggly made it,
Mm,
and they saved it for me.
That's good.
nice.
Good eating over there.
But I enjoyed not having to do a whole bunch of other stuff, and Robbie was not able to, so
Right, I
it would just
know,
happen to be a
that's
good
right.
year not to have to do anything
Right.
else.
Well,
we
one
did.
year that I cooked the turkey, that's basically all we had. We had turkey and dressing, not stuffing.
Oh, don't start.
And we
with
had
me.
oysters in the
You know what I
dressing.
did? I put a couple spoonfuls in the turkey just to be able to state my claim that it was stuffing. I
It was-
thought about every one of you.
Well, you know what that is then?
Just don't even start with
You
me.
know what that is?
Let me tell you.
There is stuffing.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
That's what you guys think about. There is dressing, what
Yeah.
the rest of the normal people think about. And then there is the filler. And that's what you did.
Do
You
I
just-
have to
you
go
just-
back and pull
just
this
put a
up again?
filler up.
Listen. You call it whatever you want.
Now,
All I
Mama-
know, it was good.
Mama
It
had
was good.
stuffing and dressing. She would put stuff in the turkey,
Yeah.
and then she had a
She didn't have a big
biscuit
enough
pan.
turkey.
Yeah, she'd have a biscuit pan full of dressing, and half of it had oysters and half of it didn't.
Yeah, see, that's my problem is nobody in the family likes the extras that I like to put in, like the giblets or oysters or the,
Well, you fix
know,
a corner of it for you.
well,
No,
it's
no,
okay.
you fixed a corner of it for them.
Well,
The other 3 corners are for you.
yeah, okay.
Well, anyway, but there was a huge debate. I thought about you, Rayford, the other day on Facebook, locally about the argument over stuffing
There's
and
no
dressing.
debate.
And yeah, there is a debate. Don't
No,
start with me.
It would be an argument. You don't have a debate has plausible reasons
Oh,
for something.
yeah, okay,
It's
whatever.
justifiable,
whatever,
probable
whatever.
cause. There is no probable
We have
cause.
we
to
have
call it
we have
stuffing.
we have differences on a few
Well,
things.
as long as
like,
you didn't have a hillbilly debate, that's when they used the shotgun. That's the debate. Hillbilly debate.
well, look, something I heard the last couple of days
She
over
missed it.
no, I'm just
Whenever
ignoring
read.
it. The one thing that I've heard the last couple of days over the radio, over the ham radio, is all the guys on there talking. They're not calling it stuffing, dressing, whatever, or sides. It's fixins. We had
yeah.
turkey into fixins.
Yeah.
Well,
but that's
the
not. Yeah.
fixins are the sweet
know
potato
what they are.
casserole,
Yeah.
the green bean casserole,
I call them sides.
the butter beans.
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
but other people call it
Condiment.
turkey and fixins.
Yeah,
Okay?
well, I
So-
understand all that.
This
You
is
know,
the-
I've been around for a long
You
time.
just get rid of the G on the fixing.
I'm just saying it's all on what you learn. You've grown up knowing.
Yeah. It's
Like,
So
I'd
do
say-
you like fried or smoked or the old-fashioned way?
Hmm.
Which do you like?
I have no preference really because whatever.
So you have
um,
no taste buds.
See, now just because you fry yours does not mean
I
everybody
also
else in the
smoke them,
world
but
is
I've
wrong.
also roasted them, baked them,
I don't like it
whatever you want
as
to call
much smoked, not as much as fried or the conventional way. I do like them fried.
them.
They're
Why is
very
that
moist.
the conventional way?
What's that?
Why is it conventional to throw it in an oven and wait 5, 6, 8, 10 hours for it to cook and dry
Well, what's
out?
wrong with it? That's all.
To dry it out, you got to use a lot more gravy.
Mine was extremely moist.
Then
In
it wasn't
fact,
done.
the meat fell off the bone. The meat fell off the bone. It was so
I
good.
wasn't invited.
I could have
couldn't
fried it.
verify
but I chose not to. I chose just to put it in the oven.
Well,
Let it go.
what I did is since it wasn't needed for lunch yesterday, this was a
Right.
dinner thing.
Yes.
6 p.m. show up. So at 4:30, no, at 4:10, I got up from the couch, from my recliner. I don't have a recliner, from my big overstuffed chair with a big old footstool. And I walked outside, lit the fire, put the oil on it, put a thermometer in it, put a second thermometer in it. I got three.
Yeah.
And when it got to 370 degrees,
Yeah, we know.
I took it off and dumped the bird in.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, this should be about 45 minutes. And I said, well, it's an 18-pound, no, it's a 15 pound, so 15 point something pound bird. It'll be ready at 5:15. Well, at 5:17, I checked it. The thermometer said 168 degrees. Said, okay, let me get my mess together. And I did. And then it was up to 169 degrees. And I pulled that sucker out, put it in a tray, turned the fire off, covered the pot with a lid, put a big old brick on top of the lid so it wouldn't blow away. I used that oil again. And then I waited 10 minutes. Temperature was up to 176, 177 degrees. And I started cutting on that bird.
Yeah.
And I cut her good.
Good. Very
Had lots
good.
of leftovers, but
Yeah.
people ate all they could eat.
Well, I had bought a bunch of
Yum.
inexpensive type Tupperware and bags and stuff and loaded everybody up. Kept enough for me for today and loaded everybody else up. Please take it.
Well, we
Oh,
go.
okay.
Go with it.
Well, Gene, he was a smart dude. On him and Nancy, they bought a great big stack of to-go plates, and when everybody got
That's what
done,
yeah.
and they said, "All right, get up there and load it. We don't want
Mhm.
anything left," and they devoured it.
We
Well-
we ended up with so much food that there was food I forgot to take out of the refrigerator. I'm like,
Oh, you are my mother, if there's ever been one.
well, it was supposed to be simple.
She finds Christmas gifts in July. They
Oh
were
no, I've never done
hidden.
that.
I've done that.
I've never did.
Have you?
I did find while cleaning last week, I did a thorough cleaning, because
Mm.
prior to Christmas, I like to clean everything. I mean, ceilings, walls, everything. And I pulled out stuff I have a little shelf that's enclosed, and I was
Yeah.
pulling out stuff and cleaning it and found $33 in a little teapot.
I
was like,
lost that.
yeah, no, you didn't.
Exactly what
Not
I
in my
lost.
house.
Where it went.
I know, but somehow you picked it up and took it home.
Yeah, well, I don't even know.
Maybe she took the teapot home from here.
That's what it was.
No,
Sounds
I mean-
good to
So
me.
you got my teapot too?
Yeah.
You got my pot and you got my money. Wow.
Yeah, okay. It's pot money.
Yeah, there you go.
Pot money.
All right, let's take a little ride.
Let's take a ride.
It's a nice, smooth morning out there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Let's pass this over to
The
Rayford,
marine
please.
forecast today, small craft advisory is in effect through this afternoon. Right now, it's really nice out there, but it's going to be a little bit messy later this morning. Northwesterly winds 15 to 20 are forecast. Gusts to 25 knots late this morning. Seas 3 to 5. They're going to be really close together. 2 to 3 footers near shore. Sounds and rivers choppy, and it's got some feeders as well.
It's the turkey.
Saturday, tomorrow, the rest of the weekend is looking pretty decent. Northeasterly winds tomorrow, 10 to 15 knots, seas 2 to 3 feeders. Sounds and rivers, a moderate chop. Sunday, southeasterly winds around 10 knots. Nice. Becoming southerly in the afternoon, 2 to 3 footers again. Sounds and rivers, a light chop.
Today, sunny with a high near 49. Northwest wind 7 to 11 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 24. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 50. Saturday night, low at 31. And Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 69.
My ham stash of folks
Cold.
today. Oh, yeah. Joe down in the borough in Swansboro, 35 degrees chilly there, 37 degrees at Emerald Isle on the Strand. Yo. He said there's no rain, no wind, none of that stuff. Said the seas at Emerald Isle this morning at dark 30 were flat. Lee over at the swamp at Back Swamp, 28 degrees, 79% humidity. Winds are light out of the northwest, about 7 miles per hour. And of course, nobody had any rain. Dale had 25 degrees. He's up the river around the bend, 86% humidity. No rain, no wind there either. And Ward, our buddy down over at Cedar Point, he was up really early this morning. It was 33 degrees, 65% humidity. Had a light breeze going on. Ken in Oslo Bay, 30 degrees, 54% humidity. On you.
On to me.
You, Lee,
Yes.
you had
Yes.
27 degrees. Wonder what it is there now. Oh, my goodness gracious. Probably has dropped to 76% humidity. Here at the studio and country club, it was 26 degrees this morning. It's now 23 degrees. Going to dip at sunrise. 81% humidity.
Yeah.
And so tonight, football time,
It's gonna be cold.
We'll
be good.
You need to wear your fur-lined everything you got. Is all I can tell you.
I'm charging up the batteries for my stadium seat right now.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you said that. Okay. When you talking about charging batteries, I said, well,
It's going to be chilly
I have
out
a
there.
joke
Game
for that
time
too,
is
but
probably going
I
to be
figured you
right,
did.
pretty close to freezing at game time tonight.
Yes.
Overnight low is going to be 25-ish. So
As soon as that sun goes down,
it'll be
it's
fun.
going to
it's going to
start.
drop. Beginning at 5
Woo!
o'clock,
Yep.
we got 2 hours for that sun gone, and
Yeah.
yes.
And
all
right
that.
there.
And there's nothing, no clouds, nothing here to keep
Well,
the warmth.
Let me
on
be the
earth.
first to say it's not going to be the same without Robbie.
Yeah, well,
She's
if
not
she
going
can
to.
recover, she may go. She
Yeah.
won't be climbing the stadium, going up the bleachers that way up
Well,
there.
throw her on your back.
I can do that.
Yeah.
We'll
Rub-
haul her up.
Get you some big oil on your back and get on with it.
I'd be drinking it. I need to drink.
Jackass juice, here we come.
I'll tell you what. I tried to get some on her, but she didn't do it. She did something else that she's got, and it seemed to help her back.
Yeah.
Her legs, knees, and all that sort of
There's a
stuff.
lot of
Still
stuff out
aggravating.
there, but to me, the big oil works better than anything else.
I like the Beagle oil.
Yeah.
I like the DMSO, and if you mix them all together.
Yeah.
You never tell. I don't know what I got.
I like the pill you take. Pop that pill.
I was making medicine deliveries before I went to Thanksgiving yesterday.
Okay, we got some awful stuff to talk about.
Yes,
So
we
you
do.
guys, if you want to chat, feel absolutely free. But there's facts in here. There are facts that you won't hear anywhere because they're polite. I'm not.
We know.
Okay.
You've been around Brent Horn too long.
I was irritated Wednesday, and the more I listened, the madder I got.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, one of 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen shot by a scumbucket POS while they were on special duty in Washington Wednesday afternoon died yesterday. 20
Years old.
years old.
So
20 years of
She's a
age.
baby.
Sarah Breckstrom and Andrew Wolf were shot by a man armed with a .357 Magnum revolver. Investigators say it was a targeted shooting and happened relatively close to the White House. Should that have us worried?
Yeah.
Well, when you hear that there are tens of thousands of the same type of individuals from Afghanistan that we don't know where they are in this country today. They were brought here, given, I don't know what the status is, asylum, citizenship, just good old boy, welcome home. We'll give you everything you need. Why? Because you helped the CIA with some information and they paid you some money while you were in Afghanistan. Folks, and everybody's making a big deal of that.
Mm-hmm.
The CIA pays a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
Cops pay drug dealers. Cops in Jacksonville, Onslow County, all over eastern North Carolina, they pay drug dealers on a regular basis. They pay informants to rat out drug dealers. Does that make the drug dealers or the informants somebody you would trust? No, you know what they are.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we trust these people? Just Why? Yes, they will give you all the information you'll pay them for. They'll make up some of it if necessary. Come on. We've made too much of this. They work for the CIA. No. No.
I work for Homeland Security. Does that make me special? No. But I've worked for them.
Wolf, the other guardsman who was shot, was last reported in critical condition. I don't know what the condition is today. I don't know what his outcome is going to be. This 20-year-old girl. Now, first of all, we send these people in at age 20. Now, she's been in the National Guard since she was got out of high school,
Right.
2 years. When she graduated from high school, she enlisted. Cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you all for doing that. But at 20 years of age, do we need them on the front lines in a battle front like Washington, D.C. or Chicago or any of the other locations? Your M16 is only as good as you are if you can get off the first shot. He who shoots first, if they're good, wins. Period. How prepared, how experienced are you? They had to be sworn in as peace officers, basically,
Right.
when they got there so they could take action. Now, at 20 years of age, let's go back through experience here. At 20 years of age in West Virginia, she can't even buy a handgun. She cannot buy a pistol at 20 years of age, but we unfortunately throw her into the wolves' den. And if you don't think Washington, D.C., Chicago, the South Side, especially Portland, L.A., New York, if you don't think don't have the scum of the earth, not everybody there, people, the scum of the earth, the crooks, the bad people, the people that are like this guy, you are absolutely living in la la land. The shooter, he was quickly subdued by other National Guard troops at the scene. Okay, they shot him, all right? They subdued him, they shot him. Somehow he lived through it. 29-year-old Afghan national Ramanullah Lakinwal is under arrest. He's recovering in a hospital. No, he should be room temperature.
Yep.
Along with murder, he faces assault with intent to kill and gun charges. Well, gun charges, absolutely. Number one, he had a .357 Magnum in Washington, D.C. Ding!
Yes,
Two,
he did.
he had a .357 Magnum revolver. Ding! He ain't supposed to have it. He drove across how many states? Drove from Bremerton, Washington?
Yeah, across the United States.
Reports
Yeah.
are that he,
Quite a
his
ways.
wife, and their 5 children have been living in Washington state after being evacuated during a mass exodus after the U.S. left Afghanistan in a big boondoggle. Left while leaving, I think it was 13 U.S. military personnel alone to fend for themselves. All were slaughtered. Reports yesterday said Lakinwal failed to renew his temporary visa to be in the United States, making him an illegal alien. True or not, I don't know. These people were treated special. I'm sure the facts will come out. I back that up. I hope that the real facts will come out at some point in time. Right now, everybody's doing a CYA like you ain't never seen before, from the president on down. And I've got a T-shirt up there that I showed y'all one time before. The first thing you do is blame somebody else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's at the start. Blame somebody else. Our government is now trying to determine if others were involved in this situation, whether it was a lone wolf deal, whether it was a lone stupid person or what. Interesting that they apparently aren't sure how many of these individuals were allowed to come to the United States. They're estimating tens of thousands. That's not an estimate. Any one of those tens of thousands could be the one hiding behind the next telephone pole waiting for you.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't know. You may recall that several years ago, a lot of our military went to bat for Afghans. They say help them when they were in Afghanistan. Truth is, as many know, a lot of people were paid by our government. Like I said, funds funneled through the CIA. I know several people, and one of them I know very well. And he had literally, they didn't pay them in checks. They didn't pay them in Bitcoin. They paid them in greenbacks, U.S. greenbacks. And they had bags and cases, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars were paid to these people.
So
I hope we have ways of locating each and every one of them. That's on the front burner at this time. It better stay there. I hope that we have some information as to what they have been doing, their communications devices, in other words, their laptops, their cell phones, or whatever's they got. Everything they've done, we should know about, and we should be tracking them. And we should know whether they have been sent here as part of sleeper cells with plans to continue killing Americans now that they're inside. They don't have to fight their way to get to us. Now tell me where I've gone wrong here. He's going to be tried with the death penalty on the floor.
Sure.
If they ever get around to it.
But that'll take 20 years. to
If he
even
lives.
If he lives.
Oh, he's going to live.
I hope he lives.
He's going to live.
I hope he does.
There are certain things you should do to certain people like this. And one of those things that you should not do is let him survive to get to the hospital.
Yeah.
You just
I know
shot
what
two
you're
of my people, and I just shot you, and you're still breathing.
Well-
What's wrong with this picture?
I'm surprised.
Did you not have an extra magazine?
I'm surprised that he lived through that return fire.
I thought they'd have made Swiss cheese out of it.
I would have thought so too.
I mean, I would have.
20-round magazine, start at the bottom.
Yep.
Done.
Good Lord. It's such a tragic story. Such a tragic. It hurt my heart.
Hey,
Yeah.
when you're 1 month from Christmas and they got a 20-year-old daughter
Uh-huh.
who just graduated 2 years ago from high school.
Yep.
And she's got a gun and she's out there to defend this nation from the scums that are inside the beltway, from the lowlifes who are there, homegrown lowlifes. And then out of the clear blue, we get some foreign national,
Well,
unvetted, likely. How do you vet people like that? There are no records of these people dating back to any time before we knew them or came into contact with them. They ain't going to go into the record database and find anything, are they?
do you remember the picture that went viral back? This is during Biden's presidency when they gave refuge to anybody who wanted to come from Afghanistan. And there was a picture of hundreds of people crammed inside of an airplane,
Yes.
sitting on
the
top
floor.
of each other, sitting on the floor. And now, how many of those people do you think were vetted
None.
before they came in? That's right.
I'm sorry. Somebody else would have had to fly that airplane
Mhm.
because if they crammed on my plane, I landed there and I didn't know what was coming down the pipe, and they crammed on. No, I got diarrhea. I can't fly this plane. Y'all take care of it.
Right, right.
I'm not getting on there with a bunch of people like this. Do you think they were even searched? I don't know. I have no clue.
And it's no telling how many more that are sleeper cells around here that came in on that
Potentially
flight.
80,000.
Yeah, it's just, and they had worked so hard at cleaning up DC,
And they
then
had
this
done so.
happened.
The mayor of District Columbia, Bowser, whatever her name
Yeah.
is, she said earlier this week she wasn't going to run for another election, another
Mhm.
term, right?
Right.
Did you hear what else she said?
Oh yeah. She's
I was opposed to the National Guard coming in here, but I will
Mhm.
tell you the streets are a lot safer now with them here.
she's backtracked on all that. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yesterday I think I texted you and Chris and said that the DC Attorney General, which is Janine Pirro,
I don't like
she
I
was.
watched her, but I
They
don't like her.
had a news conference yesterday,
Yeah.
an update on everything, and this is before the young National Guardsman had passed away. But some reporter had the audacity to ask her, well, to insinuate that it was the National Guard's fault for even being there in the first place. And you want to talk about somebody getting angry? I thought they were going to, she just went off on that
National
reporter.
Guard, it was not their fault. It was the president's fault. The buck stops with him if you want to do that.
If you're going to blame
he
someone,
placed
right?
an order out there. They carried out lawful orders in spite of what that idiot retired captain whose rank should be removed in the Navy. And I agree what they need to do. The Navy, DOD needs to go ahead and put him back in service. You're retired. Come on.
Well, the whole thing
I'm
is
gonna
such a
activate
tragedy.
you again until
and
we can court martial you. That's what they should do.
I think it was one of those incidents that who would have thought? Who would have thought? But just looking like the CEO from the health insurance.
Who would have thought what? That somebody like this would show up and do this?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying that the
Look at
streets
that
have been.
door over there. What do I suspect? What do I fear?
Oh, I know that, but you know what I mean. I mean, it was a beautiful day, and things had calmed down in D.C., and all of a sudden, here comes a crazy person, and boom, shoots two National Guard
9/11,
officers.
2001 was a gorgeous day in New York.
Yeah, but you know
And
what
look
I'm
what
trying to
happened
say,
then.
Rayford. You can't say that she shouldn't have been there because she was only
She
20.
She needed to be there, or
You know.
somebody needed to be there. But now they're going to hate me in the National Guard,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Right.
You need somebody there with some combat experience or some extensive experience. If you're going to be working a police job, which is what they're doing, it's not security. They're working, they're sworn to be able to uphold the laws while they're there. They're carrying machine guns. You understand that, right? An M16 is a fully automatic weapon.
Well, this guy,
And then he tried to take her rifle from her after he shot her.
Well, according to the press conference yesterday, Janine, Attorney General, said that he did take her weapon from her, and that's what he used to shoot her in the head. I only pray that she did not see it coming.
I'm going to dispute all of that until I know from somebody who can tell me more.
Well,
Who was there?
I'm just telling you what she said, and she was standing there with Kash Patel.
She wasn't standing there with a female when she was shot.
No, she was not. But Rayford, I would just have to say with the people that were at that press conference yesterday, and nobody disputed that, but I'm sure it'll all come out.
Did you see anybody at that press conference yesterday who was on the scene?
They have lots of video, Rayford. They have lots of video.
Have
They
you seen?
showed some of it yesterday. Not at that press conference, but there's a lot, and there's a lot that they're not telling us right
I
now.
guarantee you that. I hope not.
Right.
That's why people like Janine or whatever her name is do not need to be speculating about what they read on the internet or heard from
I'm
somebody
sure
else.
she did not do that, being in her position that you want to talk about speculation. Let's talk about the West Virginia governor.
Oh, he was just a
Wednesday
dumbass.
night, not long after this shooting had occurred,
He had two of them killed.
he posted on X that both of the guardsmen had passed away.
Yeah.
Well, of course, other people up in the ranks, West Virginia governor just posted it. So they're
I not think that he got his information from somebody that he considered reliable.
well, I'm thinking that,
There you go.
it could be. It
So
could be.
so did Judge Pirro.
I know, Rayford, she's in that. There's no arguing with you over this.
You can
Anyway,
argue all day
no,
long.
I
Show me
just
the
don't
proof.
think she's going to be standing there with the director of the FBI, the director of the National Guard, the Attorney General of the United States, et cetera, and give out false information. She was very limited in what she said, but just because you don't like her now, I'm not a big fan of her.
I've never liked her, but that's
I'm not
beside
a
the
big
point.
fan of her, but I'm just trying to tell you the whole reason why I brought up the story was what the news media did. I mean, that guy should have been just taken out of the room for what he said. That was wrong. Say that in front of her family.
He asked a question. Should she
It
have
was
been
wrong.
there or should she not have been there?
Well, he insinuated that it was more or less,
What do you
It
think?
made me
What
mad.
you're getting it from the entire left side now. The same thing.
Oh, I know. I know.
The National
Mark
Guard
Kelly.
the National Guard being there, they're the ones who brought all this out.
Mhm.
It's their fault. If they weren't there, it wouldn't have happened. If Trump had not been there in that little town up there on the stage in Pennsylvania, he wouldn't have been shot.
Well, there's so much political hate out there right now, which we know, we talk about it every day.
Mm-hmm.
But that Senator Mark Kelly, with some of the things he said,
He's a dummy.
the retired Navy captain, yeah. I mean, he more or less was telling people that they should go out there and riot and kill or whatever. He's just like, he needs to go away.
He told the troops, being the National Guard and anybody else, you have a right and you should not obey an unlawful order. That is in the books, okay? That's
yep,
in every manual, in every branch of service in this country. I don't know about other countries. You will not obey. You should not obey an unlawful order. Well, for instance, you know, you don't like that lieutenant up there. I'm telling you, I don't like him either. Why don't you go shoot him?
Yeah.
And see,
That's an unlawful order, people.
And this is a big, huge problem that I have with some of these military leaders that have run their mouth so bad.
What Kelly was a corpsman? Is that what he was?
Captain. Well,
he's a
retired captain
but
now.
He was a corpsman, I think.
Oh, I'm not really sure, but he's being investigated now for serious allegations of misconduct. And look, we all go back to we have our First Amendment right. We can say what we want to say, but you know what? To say that, telling the military and the intelligence community not to follow the orders from the president of the United States.
There are limits on any right that we have. There are limits on the Second Amendment. There are limits on the First Amendment. Go into some theater this afternoon and let's open up and holler fire. And let me tell you where you're going. Jail.
Yeah.
That's not First Amendment right, and it's not protected. You do not have the right to photograph any place you want to. It's the First Amendment. I'm the press. Well, good for you. Go to jail. 100%. Argue it before the judge. You're going to jail.
Well, this is such an argument with especially a lot of our elected officials. We're talking federal that, well, it's my First Amendment right. Well, you know what? Not if it's impeding on you or me.
He has more restrictions on him.
Yeah.
Than you do, or than any other congressman does. You understand that? Because he's still he gets money from the military, so he's part of the system. He's still part of the system.
Right.
You cannot go out and tell people just willy-nilly to go. Those are unlawful orders. Disobey them.
Well, that's like going back to the gentleman that we have here that was here in Onslow County, Stuart Schuller. He was given a direct order to stop talking on social media, what he was saying. He disobeyed that. While I agree with some of the things that he said, I also look at it this way. You're a United States Marine. You have to follow the orders that are given to you. And he could have waited, retired, then blasted everything. But he was like in their face. No, I'm not going to take your order. He's a fine man. I don't know him personally. I've been places where he's been there, and I know people who know him, but I felt like he was wrong in directly disobeying the orders that were given to him. So once again, you have to be careful about what you say, and who you say it to. And it's okay to have your opinion.
The thing
but maybe we should have retired first.
You ever work a public job?
Oh, Lord,
just give me a public job. Is this a company you work for? Somebody you work for?
Yeah, well, I work for Carolina Equipment Hall, and that's public.
Okay. We just get Joe Smith is your supervisor, right?
Okay.
Whatever. And Joe says, I want you to get the truck and I need you to go do this and this and this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, yeah, we've had that.
Goodbye.
Not with me, but we've had that.
See ya. We've want to do you.
I don't want to do that.
You won't even be able to get unemployment when you do that.
We had a guy. They'd ask him to go do something. He'd give you 10 reasons why you couldn't do it.
No, he'd give you no reasons. He gave you excuses.
Right. And then they turn around and they get it with me. And they wouldn't say, go do it. Can you get that done? Yeah.
You're
fired.
Away. You're hired.
No, he's still there.
Really?
Yes, he is. He's not.
Well,
he's
you got a
never-
bunch of wusses there.
Well, it's
I'm
complicated.
sorry.
But the thing about it was,
Somebody's relative.
No, he was just. Well, I'll give you an example. I took a machine up to a job site, and I went up this hill and I unloaded it. And the project manager, come around there and said, "How did you get up here?" I said, "Well, I drove. I'm a smart tail." He said, "No, the other driver, he always stays at the bottom of the hill, backs down there and unloads and drives up here." I said, "I'll give you that answer like this. The difference between 13 years and 39 years. I said, "That's the best answer I can give you."
Mhm.
And he just looked at me and smiled. And I'm not downing the other guy. He did have a lack of.
He knew his abilities, right?
Right.
And
He was self-taught. When he was thrown that job in 14 years ago, he had to self-teach him. He had nobody to teach him.
Okay.
Now, I was a very fortunate guy. I had a bunch of older guys when I got in the hauling equipment, had a bunch of older guys, and I listened, and I listened, and I listened.
Mhm.
And I learned. That's how you learn. Old people didn't get to be old by being a fool. Ray, from case in point, right here, ain't you?
I didn't say it. I did not say it.
I've got
I had to give you that
something else
shot.
I can add, but it'll have to
You
be off mic.
go. Okay. No,
I'm factual, and
well, I think it's a compliment. You didn't get to be this old by being stupid.
that's right.
That's the reason. That's the
I ain't the
way to
smartest.
phrase it.
I'm
me
the sharpest
neither.
knife in the pile, but I happen to be sharper
I
than
mean, I'm
you are.
almost 65 years old, and I'm still learning every day.
Child.
I learned. Yeah, I know, baby. I've heard that. You older
What?
folks just love it.
You do.
But you know what? The bad part about that, I do the same thing now when I see a younger person that says, "How old? Well, I'm 40. You just a baby."
Mhm.
And see, y'all have ruined me. Y'all have influenced me into saying that same line I've heard all these years.
Yeah, you're just a baby.
I'm just a baby.
Just a baby. Yeah, I say that quite often.
But you learn, and I learned, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but I'm pretty fair at my job. If I weren't, I'd have been fired.
Well, I've been in those jobs where I held a position
Yeah.
of, supervisor, manager, postmaster, whatever. And there's been many of our customers that I've had to dealt with,
Yeah.
that I have dealt with that where I really wanted to say this, I had to remember that I was representing the Postal Service
The customer.
and they were a customer and I had to deal with them in a very diplomatic
I
way.
do the same thing.
And-
Up to a point.
Yeah.
But if it gets to that point, then the police have been called. But
That's when the body bag's coming out.
yeah.
Well, the customer
On
service
Postal.
is number one, and I do
Right.
a lot of that because we do a lot of outside haul.
Right.
And I go to a customer and it says, "Well, I had this other company and they couldn't do this, or they wouldn't do this, or they wouldn't do that." I said, "Well, I know my limitations."
Right.
I said, because my favorite thing is when I get to a job site with a machine, I said, "What do you want?" "I'll just put it anywhere." "No, where do you really need it at?"
Right.
Because I've got it on the trailer. It's easier for me to put it over back in the back corner back there than it is for you to track it all the way over there. Would you like for me to do it? "Well, can you do that?" "Well, yeah." So I go and look. And that means a whole lot.
Doesn't take anything off your.
No, I get paid by the hour,
Right.
and the customer's happy.
Yeah.
And when you get a happy customer, you're
Keep
going to get a repeat customer.
Keep him. When Lee, I know a couple people that used to work with Lee.
They lie. They lie.
Uh-oh.
Well, two of them said you were good.
They lie. Yeah.
Now
The third one was the one that I suspended.
No, the other one said that when Lee would have people coming up front
Mhm.
being mean to her customers, she'd say, "Oh, please, can you excuse me for just a second?" And she'd go in the other room and she'd put her sweatshirt on.
The one with the bullet holes in it.
No, it says, "I'm going postal."
Yeah, I had a T-shirt that said that something about USPS, and it had like the big eagle on it, and then it had like bullet holes all over it. I wore that to jury duty. Got out right away. Just kidding. I would never do that.
3 people are facing charges after deputies say they broke into a Craven County business and stole a few batteries.
Oh, no.
Pay attention to this one.
Okay. I'm listening.
Earlier in the month, deputies responded to a larceny report at an RV dealership on Highway 70 in James City. That's outside New Bern. Yep. According to the warrants, the three of them, two guys and a not guy, broke into 5 trailers owned by the dealership at this RV dealership and stole 6 batteries.
No, they're going to put that in a golf cart.
$1,000 batteries. $1,000 of batteries, 6 batteries. That's not that much. That's $160 a piece or something. Right. It's probably a deep cycle batteries. If it was in an RV, it's probably going to be a deep cycle battery. Same thing we use in the marine deep cycle stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not a starting battery. But I don't know what it was. Anyway, $1,000 worth, 6 batteries. Well, 46-year-old Jody Walker, 39-year-old Roxana Walker, both of Trenton, and Braden Price, he's 20, of Kinston, charged with 5 felony counts of breaking and entering a motor vehicle with theft and felony conspiracy. They went to the bed and breakfast.
Oh, boy.
In Craven County, called the detention center. And they each had a bond of $40,000. $40,000. Oh, man, they didn't even get a chance to sell the batteries.
Oh, my gosh. Dumb. That's
$120,000 combined bonds for the 3 of them. Hey, I got my $40,000. What you gonna do? We're gonna chill.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Christmas is coming. Maybe some judge will find himself being lenient and cut me free. Why don't you spend some time over there at that RV dealership and see how free you really want to be? I'm not so sure that would be a good thing.
That's what we used to call getting 21-10. 21 meals on a 10 plate a week.
And sometimes
why do you think they get 21 meals a week?
Well, 21-10. Well, not
all of them get 3 a day.
That was a phrase we used to.
Some of them get 2 a day.
Yeah, that's a phrase we used to call. You're gonna get 21-10, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Let's just see if we can check. Did our friend? He's outside North Carolina, Chris.
No, I'm watching right now. He's 100 feet in elevation. He's landing.
Oh, he's in Charlotte.
Yeah, he's in Charlotte.
Yay! Well, maybe he's got time to give us a call when he gets there.
Yeah, he does. I'm looking right now. Speed's dropped down to 200 miles an hour, and he's down to 100 feet in elevation. So they're landing right now.
Poor Chris.
Getting ready to land, yes. I've been watching. Make sure we have an announcer tonight. I'm just kidding, Chris.
Why is he using his phone up there in the air? Shh, don't tell anybody. Erase all that. Are you tired of hearing reports about a possible truce between the warring nations of Russia and Ukraine? How long have we been listening to this? Ever since the first week that Russia attacked Ukraine, right?
Right.
They said, well, we're going to go for some peace. And, well, Russia came in there with to get a piece of something, and they didn't get any peace. And they haven't had any peace ever since. I don't even know how many Russians have been killed. Russia has acknowledged a lot. Mm-hmm. Parents of Russians who were fighting, they just don't know what happened to them when they came home. Mm-hmm. And of course, the government of Russia tells you what the government of Russia wants you to hear, which is nothing, honey. Anyhow,
they died for their country. That's all.
Trump has been asked again to help broker a deal between Russia's Putin and Ukraine's Zelensky. Meetings are held. Trump spends lots of taxpayer dollars working on details. We hear after every meeting that the two sides are close to a deal. Trump comes home and the shooting resumes. The killings continue. Well, for a growing number of people like me, and apparently I'm either catching or other people are catching on. Maybe I'm just contagious. We're beginning not to care what happens over there. Mm-mm. How many of you have the same, poor Ukraine that you had 3 or 4 years ago when they were first attacked? I felt really bad, and I thought we should go in there and, give them the stuff to get the job done. We did a lot. Russia kept on coming. Zelensky wanted more and more and more. He was a what was his job before? Public relations and TV or something? It was an actor or
He was an actor
He's
on a
an actor.
reality show.
yeah. Okay, that was it.
Right.
Then he's president of Ukraine. Now he's, phew.
Well, we had a movie star that went into politics.
Yeah, but he wasn't.
No
He
comparison.
wasn't in a shooting situation.
Right. No comparison.
This guy is in with hundreds of thousands of his people being killed. Yesterday, well, earlier this week, he said he was not going to meet anymore with either or both of the leaders together. Not going to meet with them. That's what Trump said, until they have already signed a deal or are on the verge of signing the peace deal that's irrevocable.
Mm-hmm. So he's getting tired
Good.
of it too.
He's tired of it. We're tired of it. I'm broke. Can you imagine the amount of money we would have in this country? Every individual in this country would have if we would stop some stupid stuff like's going on over there. If they wanted to stop that war, it's a 4-day process. 3 days of that would be typing up the peace agreement. But if you did the right thing on day one, you wouldn't have to be screwing around here. And I don't mean dropping a nuclear bomb.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't ever want to do that. We have a lot more important things here that affect all of us, you, me, you, all y'all. We have things that need to be done. It would be nice to have the president on U.S. soil taking care of our problems. Too diluted. That's what's going on with him. He is spread so thin. It's going to be a situation in 3 more years where he will not have accomplished the way. I have a problem going through and seeing a widespread bunch of stuff that has to be done and just start going from this project and one a little bit here, a little bit there, because then nothing ever gets completed. You take on one project at a time, knock her out. If you can get somebody else to do the prep work on the second one, that's good. Then just move on.
Mm-hmm.
You've always got something you can say, well, this is what I've already done. No, I'm working on all of this stuff here. Well, I don't see that you're working on anything. I can't tell that you are. If you're working on that much stuff, it's scattered. We don't know what you're doing. I can't tell it. If I scatter myself that thin, I can't tell what I've done.
Well, he is trying to get rid of all that clean air stuff that was supposedly coming in 2027.
You really screwed up there.
Yeah,
but you were factual.
Supposedly,
He's trying.
Right.
Trying.
Well, he's accomplished a little bit.
I'll tell you what I want you to do. You know what? There is a big old pine tree. There's a big old oak tree right out here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go very far. Go out there and try to push it over. Can you do that?
No, I'll try, but it ain't gonna work.
Well, duh.
No, I'm just saying.
See, you're smarter than the president.
Yeah.
Stick of dynamite.
I'm tired of trying to get stuff done.
Well,
either do it or move on.
Some former presidents number one gave the EPA too much muscle. And that was a big problem. And then you had some more people come in. The environment is this, environment is that. And then years later, scientists came up and said there's less carbon dioxide now than what there were during the dinosaur age. And all this is proven by archaeologists digging and looking at the ground and all this mess is just, but the whole thing about it is, and people ask me about it because I am in the trucking industry and been in it for 40 years. They talk about, well, why, and we've said it, why aren't our groceries coming down? When you take an engine, I'll give you Caterpillar, for example.
As you get ready to go on,
let
me throw this at you, though. The reason that they and we and me and you are asking, why aren't the prices of groceries coming down?
That was going to be my
because the price of fuel is coming down. Okay, now here is why we ask that. Because when the prices of groceries started going up, what did they say? It's because of the price of
transportation.
It's costing us so much more money to get it from the farm to the whatever to the store. It all has to come by truck to the store eventually, unless you got somebody on bicycles.
Yeah.
Lots of
When a
somebody.
train comes by.
Yeah.
And it ain't no
When was the
train.
last time you saw one of them coming by
Been a
here?
while.
Okay. So that's the reason we're asking.
Yeah.
Now, please explain it to us.
Well, there's more to it than just fuel. There's maintenance. There's
You didn't have maintenance before?
not like we have now.
Why?
Well, number one, you have an automatic transmission in your vehicle, right?
Yep.
Okay. Ever so often, you have to service that transmission. Right?
True.
On a manual transmission.
You do?
Yeah, you're supposed to.
Really?
Did you
Yeah.
get those notices?
Mine is every 60,000 miles.
Really?
Yes, sir. I'm supposed to, service transmission.
Somebody didn't tell me that.
Well, you might want to.
There's an
Might
app
look at
for
it.
that.
Yeah.
I don't have 60,000 miles on it yet.
But one thing, and we've talked about it. We've talked about it. The ATA's talked about it. OOIDA's talked about it, which is Owner Operators Independent Drivers Association. That is
What?
by truckers for truckers. It's not ATA
Oh.
and NTA is more like attorneys.
By truckers for truckers.
And they're going into putting automatics in because these younger drivers can't drive a stick. Well, you have to service those. Well, that costs. The manual transmission you didn't have to service like you do an automatic. That's one. Number two, when they put the DEF in it, we talked about that before. The diesel exhaust fluid.
Got that.
When that screws up, that's $3,000 to $6,000, and all it takes is this right here. This little thing right here, if it gets into the nozzle, it stops it up, and you have to replace it, all of it. The pump, the injector,
Would it
everything.
not
And it's
first,
more cost.
would it not be easier, cheaper to teach a youngster who can't drive a manual transmission
Technical
to
terms.
drive a freaking, how many gears you got? 17 forward gears?
I got 13.
Whatever.
Some of them's got 18. Some of them's got 10.
You got a bunch of gears. You go, I mean, you don't go, can they count that high?
But they're
They
going
got
to-
fingers and toes.
But the trucking companies trucking industry is going to automatics because it's easier to train a guy to drive an automatic
And
than
more
it is manual.
expensive to
And
make.
more expensive. That's one piece. The other one is just like I said, the diesel exhaust fluid. And when that came out, Caterpillar said, we will not put any more engines in big trucks.
Mhm.
Now, these engines at one time would run 1 million miles. Over a million. They're not doing it now. They're not making it.
What do they do with the old ones?
Well, they rebuild them, put a new end frame in it, and they keep right on going. There's blocks out there that's got 4 million miles on the block, not the whole engine, but the block.
Mhm.
And it's cheaper to rebuild it than it is to buy a
Oh,
new
of
one.
course.
But now you got to understand, the more maintenance you do, the more cost goes up. And guess who winds up paying all the bill?
Me?
Yeah, you. And that's part of it. There is not a truck driving shortage. There's not a truck driver shortage. Now we need more truck drivers. Yeah. But we're not shortage yet. And people just run around. There's a truck driver shortage, and you got you got 2 license issuing schools right here in Oswego County. Not truck driving school. They're license issuing schools. Just like you took driver's ed, or I did. And
Are
then
you implying that I didn't?
Did they have
well, back
drivers
in the
ed?
day, back in 29, they might have not have had drivers ed. I don't
Giddy
know.
up, giddy up. Let's go. Come on. Back it up, back it
Yeah,
up.
I'm just going to sit back here and let Tim
But
have it all.
it's a lot of different factors, and the consumer is the one that's going to pay.
Right.
Now, Trump, what he is trying to do, he is trying to get rid of all that. If we can go back to the old way it was doing it, the cost would come down on the maintenance of the engines.
Mhm.
Well, when the cost comes down, some other things come down. And it's not just the fuel, folks. It's a whole lot of other things that get tied into it. I'm making about the same amount of money now as I was 20 years ago.
But you have been making too much money 20 years ago.
Yeah, but I was making good money. 20 years ago, I was making great money. Hauling freight, y'all. Well, and
Wow.
about 20 years ago, I changed over and started running equipment and other stuff. But you got to understand, the price went down. They started let's get these little truck drivers going, and they would pay them 19 cents a mile running coast to coast. Now you can go out there to Lowell, Arkansas. There's an interstate runs right by there. There's a humongous field out there, and it's full of wrecked trucks. One company with wrecked trucks. And they finally woke up one day and says, we're not going to do this anymore. So they upped the price per mile, and they started hiring experienced drivers. And that did a lot. So that costs. And guess who pays for that cost on that wrecked truck? Trickles right back down to us every time. So folks, if you can keep it as simple as you can, you're a whole lot better off. And your prices will not be quite as bad, except when the middleman says, well, I'm not going to let that happen. I'm going to keep going, because there's somebody in the middle getting filthy rich.
I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. It's just like your brokers. When you get these independents, they have a broker. The broker will we'll get you a load out and we'll pay you $4 a mile. That was actually $5.50 a mile is what he got. The broker got $1.50 a mile, and he's sitting behind the desk doing nothing. But
I think I've heard of that in the unions.
yeah, well, the Teamster union is just about gone. The ones that I know of,
Teamster. I'm talking about unions in general. Yeah.
but the unions. The unions were a great thing back in the day. I don't knock them. But since the U.S. labor laws and the North Carolina state labor laws came out, there's a whole lot of changes, and a lot of things happen, just like your cars and trucks that you buy that come off the assembly line. These people are making outrageous money assembling those cars. And I've known some of them that would leave here, go up to Detroit, spend their 20, 25 years making cars, come back down there filthy rich. And that's great. I'm glad you did it. But I remember my granddaddy telling me one time, and I was a little boy, he said, one of these days a car's going to cost as much as a house. And he's right.
Oh, yeah.
He's exactly right.
Oh, yeah.
Because you ain't going to build a house no more for 50 cents a square foot, 55 cents. Them days are gone. And you remember, your daddy told you all about that. I'm pretty sure Mr. Herschel Brown, one of the greatest men I've ever known.
He had to work it. He had to work it.
He did.
He went in and he was on the side of the consumer as well to make sure that they could maintain the cost, keep the cost down. And can I be sexist for just a minute?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You're
going to, hey man, you talking to the donkey man, the male chauvinist pig on his low count. So go ahead.
lay your hand. Put your hand right here.
This was just basically a fact that from his world, right? As a general contractor, as the guy, he and his two brothers owned the company. And one of the things he did, we were working on a house, and then along the couple, because he designed the houses and based upon what they wanted. Here's what we want. And when they're in the process of building the home, they come out and say, "We'd like to make a change over here. We'd like to take this." And he said, "Okay." And he was nice. He's polite. And he'd go rip a wall out and put it up in a different place, or do this, or do whatever, right? And then Mama would come back and wants to change it again.
Yeah.
And he finally got to the point, as he gained years of experience and dealing with people and everything else. Here's what we do. If you're coming on the construction site other than to look at things, just to look at the progress, if you want changes, they're going to be really expensive. Because by the time I have to do over what we've already done, and after you've already made one or two changes, adding something here and there is one thing. Making a room, changing the size of it, all of that, when it's in progress, is a different story. On paper, you can do it with an eraser.
Yep.
Not a problem. Zip it through. So he started charging them for it. So being a husband,
I've heard this.
gave their wives the
from
orders,
him.
do not go on that construction site. I cannot afford you going out there anymore. And he told that story so many times.
Oh God, yes, he told me that.
He did.
Yes, he did.
I have no doubt about it, because I used to go out there, and you should hear the builders when they're out there. And did she came on here again? Oh my God!
Yeah.
What is she doing
You
here?
leave her in the car.
in the trunk.
Hey, I mean, the greatest thing about your dad, I mean, I loved him, loved delivering lumber to him. I mean, because he's going to give you some words of wisdom before you left. And I couldn't wait to hear it. And that was the coolest thing. I mean, I would hey, you carrying that to Herschel? Yeah, I got it.
Mhm.
I'd carry, yeah, I got it. I got it. Because he went,
A lot of drivers like to deliver.
well, it tickled me. We had a young driver over at Jacksonville Supply, and he put the framing order up, and he put the chain on it. I said, where you going? Oh, I'm going to go see Mr. Herschel Brown. I said, well, you can take the chain off. Well, what do you mean? You're not going to dump that load. I said, if you dump that load, it's because he's not there. And I said, Bill Boney, we'll hear about it if you dump that load. You took it off and you laid it down there.
Mhm.
And so when we would do framing orders, we would do the number 2 lumber first. We put the pressure treated lumber on top.
The way
You
it's
didn't have to do
supposed to
that.
be
You didn't have to do that with Herschel. Pressure treated lumber is going to be over here.
There you
This
go.
lumber, and that's where you did it. So I would put the pressure treated lumber on one side of that framing order, and I put the number 2 lumber on the other side.
Easy way to do
And
it.
you better not get caught dumping his load of plywood either.
Oh, no.
Woo! I had a guy do
When
that.
you mess up roof and sheeting, oh,
I pulled up there with one bundle of plywood, and he got some plywood from some other company. We were out or something, but we had one. We carried it to him, and I'm over there, and I'm taking 2 sheets at a time, just dropping it. That guy come up and said, man, what are you doing that for? I'm going to dump it. I said, go right ahead.
You'll be back.
And when he dumped it, of course, it just shot out.
Yep.
Herschel drove up.
Oh.
And he walked over there and looked at me and said, now, Raleigh, I'm going to show you what stupid is. He went right around there and he made that guy pick all that plywood up and place it over there. And he kept telling him, you see what that Thomas boy is doing over there? That's better be the way you do my lumber. You understand me that, boy? But I loved him.
He had a way of making people understand. Didn't take too many words, but he was fairly sincere.
Yep.
I don't think he ever hit anybody that didn't deserve it. Let's go back to D.C.
Yeah.
The mayor up there, Muriel Bowser, we talked about her a little bit, all right? She's been in office 3 terms. She's already said she's not running again. We got that done. And then she put out on social media how great this whole deal was that she had done. Patted herself on the back a lot, highlighting her accomplishments, things that she said she's done. Construction of 36,000 homes. And as she put it, more than any city or state government has done. I don't know. That's what she said. She said that the Trump administration's insistence that federal troops are deployed because of the soaring violent crime rate. How many, she says it was a success. How many times over the years have we read stories, aides to congressmen killed, robbed, mugged? We've had some really close people in Congress who were mugged. Why would you not want to safeguard that city? First of all, these people come and go at all times of the day and night. They're not there at 8 to 5. As much as you like or dislike Congress, they have to work sometimes until midnight. Would you want to walk the streets of Washington, D.C. at midnight, unless you were me?
I don't even feel safe going to DC
I don't either.
during the day.
Yeah, I don't want to be stopped.
I don't want none of it.
Well, I don't want to have to be, well, you saw what happened Wednesday. Of
Now,
course,
look,
they were targeted, but
what she is also saying, though, now y'all give me your opinions because I've got mine. She said that she's going to continue supporting the efforts that have been launched to make the District of Columbia the 51st state. Okay.
Mhm.
Looking at DC as a state. We hear people say that's a good idea because you know what? They act like a state. They do this. I guess it would be the smallest state then instead of Rhode Island, right? One thing to consider, it would mean an additional 1 or maybe 2 congressional seats established 2 more congressmen,
Mhm.
1 more congressman. Got to have at least 1
And then 2
from every state, and then 2 senators. Now, these 2 senators will have the same power and the same number of people to deal with as California has. California, Texas, Alaska each have 2 senators, right?
Right.
So does Delaware. So does, well, they sort of had 2 senators. They had Biden. They had 1.5 maybe.
Oh,
But
goodness.
they've had, I mean, North Carolina's got 2. That's the way the whole deal is set up. That's our Constitution. We will have, each state will have equal representation, 2 senators per state. Now, the District of Columbia, 2 senators. That means we will have 102 senators, right? They can't get their acts together now. And you can rest assured that the delegates and the people in Washington, D.C. are going to support the Democrat side, right?
Right.
That's going to add 2 Democrats to the mix. Adding 2 is the same as reducing the power of the other side, whoever the other side is. Right now, they're fairly evenly matched. They go this way and they go that way. One of 2 things would happen is we're going to have a totally lopsided ultra-liberal Senate, which we generally don't have, or we're going to have finally a group of individuals who will work together. Oh, yeah, and we'll have world peace right after that.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about making the District of Columbia a state? What about Puerto Rico? Some of them want to make Puerto Rico a state.
Yep.
What are you going to do with Guam? How about the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands? What are we going to do? Does everything need to be a state? This is our nation's capital. It is the center of this country. Not in the center, but it is the central part of this country as far as our government. So should that have a statehood as well? Y'all help me. Y'all out there listening, help me. 910-333-0139. What do you guys think?
Speaking of
Politically
all that,
speaking.
politically speaking, in case anyone didn't know yet, the new map that the North Carolina Republicans redrew for congressional districts
Scammed their way through.
went to the federal judges, and they said no problem. They said they had no problem with it, that the other side failed to prove their allegations, and the new district map will go into effect, I guess, January 1st. They didn't have a date.
I
but
got confused on that. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
It's but it has passed, and so we now we stay in the 3rd district, all of Onslow County, with the exception of just the town of Swansboro, just right there at the Cape Carteret and Swansboro line. That's going into the 1st district. But we did lose a lot of counties out of the 3rd district. We will still keep Greg Murphy as our congressman. Oh, well, he is right now.
If he's reelected.
If he's reelected too, and I'm sure he will be.
Has he said he's going to run? I
Um,
think he did, didn't he?
I don't recall actually seeing a post. He may have, but I know the 1st district is heating up. That's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that.
That's going to be a confused district, right?
Well, the 1st district has always been Don Davis, who's a Democrat. And now that they've moved a lot of the 3rd district into the 1st district, it's more or less making it a Republican district. And so I think that we may see a new congressman out of the 1st district that may be Republican. So,
And in the 1st district, we're including Carteret County,
that's right. Carteret County, Craven County.
Raven County,
Yes, they're all going into the first.
And and we've already got one person who's announced, a very strong individual,
Asa Buck
Buck, who's retiring as sheriff.
and Bobby Hennig, and he's a North Carolina senator. He has announced.
Mm-hmm.
And there was somebody else that announced over the weekend, and I'm trying to think of what his name was. He's a farmer, and he has announced. And there's a couple others that have said they were going to run. As far as officially announcing, I don't know. December 1st, though, is opening up where you can go down and file. Filing period opens up. Do what?
What do you mean we could go down and file?
Yeah, go ahead. You talked about how you want to.
You said we.
No, it was
We
not.
should drive you down there.
I'll drive you down there. Yeah, I'm not filing for
Ain't
anything.
buy no gas, but we'll drive you down there.
Okay.
I heard the other day that I was working on somebody's campaign that I'm not even talked to in over a year, and I'm like, what? So, yeah. But no, December 1st opens up for filing. Let's see everybody line up and go on down.
Okay. Well, I like people to file. It doesn't bother me in the least. It'd be great if everybody who wants to run
Do it.
would run, at least file, and that way they've got a conduit to get a message to the rest of us that they probably do not have any other way. And whether they are elected or not, their messages will be heard. That's the good thing. I like hearing from people of a different persuasion who's not the typical politician. God knows we got plenty of those. And we'll probably reelect another one or elect another politician. We don't elect farmers that are just off the farm, not since Davy Crockett left the woods and ran. We need, but it's great to hear what they've got to say and say, it makes me think when they say something, say, well, wait a minute. Then at that point in time, when the front runners are running, and particularly when it gets down to the general election, Mr. Republican, Mr. Democrat, and maybe one more, so-and-so has said sees this as an issue, and a lot of people out there, including me, agree with them that this looks like an issue that needs to be addressed. What do you think? And see what they think about the other guy's platform. Because a lot of what other people's platform involves is actually should be discussed.
Yeah.
Whether they're elected or not. If you see a problem, run for office, your message will be put forth.
Well, it's just like our local government. I would like to see, I've said this before, I think, what was his name, Cleveland, that we couldn't raise our state sales tax.
George Cleveland.
He's gone.
Yeah. So where's the sales tax?
That's my big deal. Why can't we, I hadn't heard, but why can't we raise our sales tax?
It's got to be
for the
brought
county?
back up again.
Yeah.
Well,
It needs to be
it's
brought
not going to be
back up.
brought back up unless the local commissioners do it.
Well, that's what I'm
A
asking.
majority of them have got to do it. They've got to agree to do it. They were requested. And to do that, the first thing they're going to have to do is get 100% of our Senate and state House people.
Yep.
Our state Senate, we got one state senator, but then all of the House members to
Yeah,
serve
you only
Onslow
need-
County.
Yep. Four votes in the yay.
It has to be unanimous.
Okay.
Otherwise, it doesn't have to be.
Because
But
it's a local bill.
that's what their tradition is. It has to be.
That is my
unanimous.
big thing.
The last time it would never go through because Representative, who was at the time,
Yep.
George Cleveland,
Said it wasn't
his
gonna happen.
answer was,
Yep.
no, you have a spending problem.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't have a
that's
revenue
everybody.
problem.
That's
You got a
always
spending
the case.
problem, and
Mhm.
I cannot disagree with George.
Right.
I think we had, and we may still have, a spending problem.
I can't say that.
If we have to continue getting more and more money from sources, where does it stop?
Yeah.
When we
But
got
that's how you do it.
when we get a 90% sales tax,
But that's how you do it. You reach out, you get grants, you get money from the
where does the
North Carolina
grants come from?
legislature. from different nonprofits and different
No, they don't. They
organizations.
come from taxpayers.
If you give them money, yes, if it's a nonprofit.
Whether you give them money or whether you give it to the government and the government gives you grants.
Right.
That's where the grants from the
But it
government
comes
come
back to you by getting a grant.
from. After
It
they
comes
take
back
a
to you.
cut, they'll take 60% of any grant money that they get to give back.
Not necessarily.
It's called indirect.
It's called the cost of doing business.
It all goes back around. That's
Yeah.
the way it goes. But if you didn't have all of that,
Then we wouldn't have to have the taxes to support all of that.
and you probably wouldn't have the roads, the infrastructure, all the other stuff that we're fortunate enough to have here.
Mhm.
What we do have.
Well, I mean, I didn't mean to bring up that bad a can of worms, but I just,
No, we like
I just
arguing
think,
about it.
I really think, and I made that deal
You're not
years
talking in
ago.
advance about
No.
trying to get your goat.
And I remember I was working at a fertilizer company, and I worked for a county commissioner. His name was
Fertilizer
Starkey.
company.
Yeah.
Was that like?
No, it wasn't
that kind of-
hockey. I wasn't a hockeyologist, but
Okay,
yeah, I
no,
was
I got you.
Hockey, what?
hockeyologist. That's what I called these septic tank pumping
thought
people.
it said
They're
that.
certified.
A rootin' Putin guy.
Yeah, I call them a hockeyologist. But we were talking about that, and this is when we had all volunteer rescue squads, and they were talking about wanting to get paid rescue squads, and I was agreement with it.
I am too. Totally.
And they talk about the
That much
money.
time? Oh.
They were talking about the money, and I said,
Always.
well, why don't we just why don't you commissioners try to get together and say if we could raise state sales tax 0.25%.
0.25%, yeah.
0.25%. And I said, if you raise that, and he said, well, they wouldn't even need that much money. I said, well, wouldn't that be the greatest idea?
Weather.
Everybody pays.
Everybody pays.
Everybody who uses them pays.
That was back in '84 when I said that. And he said, well, that would be great if you could do it, but you can't get it done. And he gave me the steps of what you'd have to do. I said, well, it would be so easy if you got that money, you could do a whole lot with it. And I even said then in '84, I said, you could wind up with enough money to have paid county firemen. And that was in '84.
Oh,
like I
that's
said
a whole
again,
other subject.
now we have paid rescue squad. Thank God we do. They found the money and they got the money. And I'm pretty sure a lot of it was property tax. I just went and paid mine last week.
Yeah, mine
And that
was.
is one tax that makes me mad when I pay it. And I can't help it. That's just the way I feel.
Well, Rayford and I pay double.
And yeah, y'all pay double. I don't. And it's like I told AC one time, move. I look, and when he
Mhm.
complained about it, I said, well, move.
Yeah, but then again, like you said, it's my choice.
Yeah,
I
well,
love
it
living
is.
where I
But the
live.
thing about it is property taxes to me is an evil tax. And you pay property taxes on your cars. You pay property
Anything's
taxes
evil,
on your
yeah.
house, and you pay property taxes. And we pay, and the property taxpayers, the biggest money goes to the schools, help the school and
That's
stuff.
right.
And
So tell me, some years ago, when we suddenly started having to pay kind of high gas taxes, okay, hold on. And then suddenly, some years ago, not that many years ago back, we got this thing called every time you buy a car, you got to pay what they call that thing? A user fee, a user
User fee.
tax. Oh, got to pay that.
look at your
And
tax.
then when you buy, even if you buy a used one, that fee has already been paid on before, you got to pay
Yeah,
another.
'cause used to, we didn't have to pay sales tax on used cars. Now, I remember that.
Uh-huh.
You didn't have to pay. Now you have to pay sales tax on labor to get your car.
Yes, yes.
You didn't have to pay that.
That's right.
So there's more
So-
revenue coming in.
And so let me ask you this then. Where is all of that money going? Let me do one more.
Okay.
Let me do one more. It was just a few years ago, real few years ago, that they decided to go up on boat registrations.
Mhm.
The fee was $15 a year annual registration.
Yeah.
Okay. To renew it, $15. Didn't matter what size your boat was. Then that went up quite a bit. And then for the larger boats, a larger boat being anything over 25 feet, $50.
$50.
Then it went up. Larger than that, more. And the premise was all of these shallow draft inlets that we have around here, like two that we have here, Bogue Inlet, New River Inlet, in Onslow County, they would be perfect.
Mhm.
Where's that money going?
Yeah.
Because I know it ain't going to keep those inlets perfect.
No.
So where's it going? Where's all that extra money going? Does it go into the general fund? See, that is the thing that needs to be stopped.
Right.
Going into the general fund, because getting into the general fund, y'all, is just exactly like sending all of our tax money to Washington, D.C. and trusting those individuals up there to put it where we wanted it to go in the first place. No, we can't designate it. Won't let us do that. We send it up there and they decide. And of course, for them to make those decisions, they got a staff of millions.
Yeah.
And they get paid. So all that money that goes up there, a big chunk of it comes off to pay the staff before they decide who to give it to.
Sure.
Y'all see how this works? Does anybody see how this works?
I give you.
That's why we have a big government. It's too big. The government's too big.
It is.
But it gets bigger with the more money they take in and the more projects that they have to do, the more grants that they have to approve.
No.
Well, look how big it got with sending all that money to all these other countries.
Well, yeah.
Way too much.
Okay,
Well,
but-
has it dropped? Has the size of our government? When was the last time that you saw it reduced in size? That answer would be never.
They're not going to.
Well, I'll give you one more stat. And I was contract for animal control, and people would go in every month and donate money to animal control to buy dog food, cat food, other supplies. They would go in there and make a donation.
Yep.
Now they had a goat back there in the back, and I would go there. He was crippled, and I'd go trim his toes sometimes for him. And I didn't never charge him, but I'd go up there. And I remember at one time, I don't know if it's still this way, but this gentleman came in to give his $200 donation as he did every month.
Mm-hmm.
And Onslow County decided you can't do that anymore, because if you can donate, but that money goes to the general fund and then they allocate. So, and he walked outside, he wouldn't give his money.
Uh-huh.
And he walked outside at me and he was sitting there looking and he was watching me trim. And the old goat's name was Billy. Good old goat. He just sat back there for years.
Original name, Billy Goat.
Yep. And he was talking to me about, he was mad. And I said, well, I can tell you, and me being an old country boy, I said, well, I can tell you how to fix that. He said, how?
Buy food.
I said, take that $200 and you go to the feed store and you buy $200 worth of cat food and dog food and bring it back to them.
That's right.
And I said, your money ain't going in the general fund.
The cat food and dog food ain't going into the general
Right.
fund.
And
they don't
then-
have a place to deal with. Well, they might, though. If he gets enough of it in there, they probably put somebody in charge
Well,
of it to
yeah.
distribute it.
And he looked at me. He said, well, yeah, but I'm old. I hate to have to pick the food up and this, that, and the other. I said,
Call me.
you can get somebody to deliver it.
Yep.
I said, take part of that $200 and pay somebody to deliver it for you, and they will.
Mhm.
And
Just
you
call
saw the
UPS.
light came
Just call
on.
UPS or FedEx or whoever.
But he got an individual to go to a feed store, and he gave him the money.
There we go.
And I forgot how much. The guy didn't charge him much, but he started bringing his dog food. Now I don't know if they still do that because I've been out of it. But that one time, the county commissioners and this was years ago.
They
y'all.
really
This
don't
ain't
want.
now.
They don't really want money coming directly to some of the government agencies. That's the
Exactly.
problem.
But it was that where I thought it was crazy.
All right, got a small craft advisories in effect through this afternoon along the Onslow Bay area. Northwesterly winds 15 to 20 knots, gust to 25 this morning. Seas 3 to 5 feet, 2 to 3 foot seas near shore, or 2 to 3 feeters near shore. Sounds and rivers chopping. Saturday, looking pretty good for Saturday and Sunday. Northeasterly winds tomorrow, 10 to 15 knots, 2 to 3 foot seas. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. Sunday, southeasterly winds going to do a switch around.
Yeah.
About 10 knots, becoming southerly in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 3. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
Today is sunny with a high near 49. Northwest wind 7 to 11 miles per hour with gust as high as 20. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 24.
Cold.
Cold. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 50. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high near 69.
Wonder if
Cold.
all the cold weather thermometers are going to be out at the stadium tonight.
Not if you're dressed appropriately, you should be fine. What are you
just
talking
said you were
about?
getting
What are
new-
you talking
You
about?
just said you were getting new batteries, and then you hesitated, and then you finally described it. So I was all right.
Look, I have backup batteries even.
Mhm.
Yes. Because when that battery after a couple hours goes
Oh.
dead, I plug in another one.
Yeah, these are for the heated stadium seats
Yes,
that we
they're nice.
lavished on. Robbie and I, we bought a couple of them last year before last, whenever it was.
Last year we got them.
And
Yes.
then you did. You had yours,
Right.
and we got them on sale. I think it was pennies on ours. Went over there.
Yeah. You got yours at
and
pennies.
it was it's pretty dang cool. I like that.
Call hot honey time.
I'm gonna tell you
Mhm.
because it warms the back and you've got a choice of either just the seat or the back or both.
Uh-huh.
And on those cold, bitter nights, like when we went to Fayetteville last year, remember how cold it was that night?
Yeah,
Oh man, those seats help tremendously. Help
they're going to
tremendously.
help tremendously tonight,
Oh yeah, they
and with a
are.
blanket or two.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Gotta have
I'm
that.
thinking about wrapping. And folks, if you go into the ball game tonight, either one of the ball games locally,
Yes.
we got Northside playing, we got
Northside and
Jacksonville High's playing.
right.
It's going to be cold, and so be prepared in advance. Let's start at the top of your Hayde
Right.
toboggan.
Mm-hmm.
You call it what you want to: toboggan, watch cap, beanie, boggin, thing that goes over your head and rolls down over your ears. I don't care if you got hair out to the wherever.
Yeah.
You
Hey, hey,
need
hey,
one
hey,
of them.
hey,
Where
hey,
you-
hey.
Where you?
Okay, and then on top of that, I would either wear a hat
Mhm.
or like I've got Swerve, or I've got a vest over there that's got a hoodie on it,
Right.
and I will put that over the top.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got another layer there. Layers is the key. But I'm going to have something on over the top of that.
Right.
Okay.
Where you?
I don't want to be sitting there and be miserable. Now, moving on down to the belt line,
You forgot gloves.
we'll get there.
Well, that's
You got to get dressed first.
Mhm. Gloves.
Then I
gonna
get on
last.
down to the drawers, right?
the drawers.
Uh,
Wear drawers.
well, you don't have to.
Get your insulated underoos on, but
You
yeah.
got you need those insulated underoos, right? Now, some of you old folks around there, they got some of the what did they call those things with the flappers in
The
the
union suit.
That's it.
Yeah,
Why do
yeah,
they
I'm
call it-
getting them.
Why'd they call it a union suit?
See, it's hard for me to wear long johns under my jeans.
Well, we get some bigger jeans.
I need bigger
She wants
jeans.
some tight.
Well, they will be. But anyway, you're going to need some thermal underwear.
Right.
Now, there are a couple of places we've already talked about the Hayde, because the Hayde is a place that loses a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
And that makes you cold everywhere. The other place that loses a lot of heat, one of the other two places that loses a lot of heat, your dadgum tootsies, your
Toe.
toes.
Theo's calling.
Wear your
And-
wear your Daniel
Yes.
Boone boots. You'll stay warm. If you got a
Mhm.
pair, I got a pair.
I've got some. I don't have Daniel Boone boots. I've got some insulated boots for and they're waterproof
I
as
got
well.
Right, right,
mine
right.
are called Minnetonkas, but yeah,
Yeah,
they
mine like you're talking about. I have those, and they're warmer than wearing the knee-high boots because your
Yeah.
knee-high boots for ladies are just for show. They're not for
Oh,
Oh
warm.
yes,
lady.
we know, honey. And we look too sweet. Don't think we don't.
Anywho, I'm gonna. That's
I
the
ain't
other
that
thing.
old yet.
Now, mittens, gloves, or whatever, you're going to need them. If you run by places like Academy Sports or wherever today,
You didn't hang
let's
up
see
on
what
me.
we got.
That was Chris.
We got who we got here? It's Theo.
Deal.
Hey, yo.
No,
Nope.
just again.
Not Theo. Theo's brother. Yeah, that'll work.
Who's this?
That's Chris.
It's Theo.
No, it's not. You
No, it
said
ain't.
Oh,
Theo.
wait,
You
well,
were-
it's showing Theo's phone number on both
You borrow
lines.
Theo's phone?
No.
No. Okay.
Where are you
I
now?
was just trying to accidentally do a group call. No, it ain't on mine.
You might did.
I don't have a clue. Steve, how are you?
I'm doing well. Hope y'all are too. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Hope y'all had a good day yesterday.
Happy Black Friday Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
My
trying to
crazy
catch
wife
up.
was up at 3 o'clock this morning, her and my daughter out Thelma and Louise.
They still do that?
Yeah, they do.
God knows,
Good
Steve.
for them.
My grandbaby was headed out this morning too. Silly girl.
Also, so that's kind of the thing they like to do every year is get up like crazy early and go out there and stand in line to wait for 4 or 5 little gifts.
Yeah.
All right. What you got going? Anything?
Oh, not a whole lot. I was listening to y'all this morning, and probably the thing that stood out to me the most was Tim talking about collard greens. Man, I sure love some collard greens too.
I do too. I had some fantastic collard greens yesterday, and I only cook my collards at Christmas. I cook them once a year, and I use a corned ham. I'll cook my corned ham. Takes about 5 hours to cook it. I'll pull it out.
I could deep
Put my
fry
collards in the put the collards in the juice and add the pepper and boil them, and they make your babies be born naked. But now Gene Williams cooked some yesterday with some smoked like ham hocks, and they were outstanding. So what'd you cook yours with? What'd you season yours with?
I take and get me some country ham and cut it up in little
There you go.
pieces.
That's my
and
grandmother's
fry it up.
recipe.
And,
Mama did that too sometimes.
And then I take me a spoonful of that bacon grease that I
Yes.
save, and I plop that down in there with them. That's what I fry that country ham in.
How big is your
And
spoon?
then, it's pretty
Quart
big. It's
spoon?
bigger than a tablespoon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I just call that a quart spoon, but yeah.
It's like a little ladle looking spoon.
Small shovel. Come on, give me the truth.
Yeah.
But I do that, and then when I'm frying them up, right before I pour some vinegar in there to fry them up with, and then right before they're done, I put some hot pepper vinegar in there, just enough to give them a little
That's
tang.
what my daddy would do. And then he
Yeah,
had,
that's
then he
what I
had,
did too. That's what I got.
then he had a little jar over there, a mason jar full of that hot pepper vinegar. And while when it's served to him, he will pour it on them, just like he did with his oysters. He'd add a little separate shell or a bowl that he put hot pepper vinegar in, and he'd dip his oysters in that too.
Yeah.
Lord, good
Mhm.
God.
I like some hot pepper vinegar. I just about put it on cereal.
I don't do the hot
I
pepper
don't either.
vinegar too much. It's the and I know you probably heard me talk about the fried turkey where he injected with the jalapeno Creole, and I was a little apprehensive with it, but now it's not hot. He didn't lie. It's not hot. It's got a flavor that is all it's on.
I don't like stuff that's hot, like most people would call hot.
Yeah.
But I do like just a little tang. Just you can tell there's something there.
Yeah, it didn't even give the tang to it, but it had a unique flavor. You could taste the beginning of jalapeno pepper, but it never was hot.
Okay, here's the thing. There are there's several varieties, but two
Yeah.
basic varieties. There's a hot jalapeno pepper, which is normal. Then there is believe it or not, a non-hot jalapeno pepper. I didn't believe it, so I grew both
Okay.
a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And they were right.
What now?
I was gonna say it's called a jalapeno.
That's it.
Is that it?
Jalapeno.
Okay.
I'd forgotten the name of it. But that was it. And but the other thing I found out with jalapenos years ago is just go ahead and make sure you cut out the vein.
Okay.
Make sure you get rid of all those seeds. And you don't have the heat that you would have otherwise.
Well, I used years ago.
It's going to be hot, but you're not going to have the same heat. It's less.
I was in charge of Farmers Day, and we had collard cooking contest. And my main judge, and he wouldn't do it, was Paul Buchanan.
Oh, God. Paul?
He would not. He would not eat a collard.
From New York?
Yes, he wouldn't do it. And I picked him for a judge. I'm not doing it. And he sat there on stage and refused to do it. But the collard cooking contest turned out the next year to be one huge event. And I wish you'd have been around then, Steve, and brought yours up and you had people come from miles around with their collards, and it was turned out to be a huge event with the collard cooking contest. And I'm not big on collars until it frosts.
Well, that's what you're supposed to.
Yeah. But now y'all can cook some mighty good unfrosted collards.
You can cook them now. because you got frost.
Yeah,
It's cold.
but before my mama stir fried hers in the summertime,
Mhm.
and she had a wok, but she was stir fried, and they were good. But now when you hit that frost hits it and they turn sweet, them old time daddy called them Thomas collards, but the old time cabbage collards. Oh, good gosh, and daddy loved that Bulldog soda.
Now, sometime, Steve, when you live near there, over on Emerald Isle at the Carib Sea or Carib Sea, it depends on who you are, how you pronounce it. What in the world?
That was my phone.
Go up to the top level and ask for some Tom's collards. They serve them when they do the Oysters Rockefeller, I think. But anyway, you can get a little bowl of those things. Tom's collards. He used to work there decades ago, I guess, or somewhere. They are so close to my grandmother's, I can eat them. Most of the collards I get are just better and just flavorless. His are good.
Yeah.
It's surprising how wide of a variety you can get of collard greens.
Yes.
Being that it's just a collard green. You know how much different the taste can be from one to the next.
Of course.
It's kind of like an apple. You know, what's an apple taste like?
And the land
Which
it's
one?
grown on too makes a big difference.
And the year.
Yes. Well, yeah.
How the weather's been.
I tell you, hey Tim, I tell you something my dad used to do is if we needed collards before the frost hit,
Yeah.
he would take them and
Freeze 'em.
put them in a bag and stick them in a freezer.
Yeah.
And freeze them overnight and then pull them out the next day and cook them.
Okay. Yeah.
And it wasn't quite as good,
Mm-mm.
but it did make them more tender.
Yeah, Mama would do that. She would leave them in there for a few days and then take them out and let them set. But yeah, and you're right. It weren't as good, but you were getting close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like to try some of your collard. I love, God knows, I'm a collard connoisseur
I
now.
tell you, I'm a little skeptical about trying people's collards because I've tried some that I was like, one lady.
Me too.
I told her, we had talked about collards. This one lady, she was like, "Well, you need to try my collards," and she brought me some, and I tried them, and I took a bite of them, and I was like, "How did you cook these?"
Yeah. I want to
And
make
she-
sure I don't ever do it.
Well, she told me about she boiled them, that she boiled them down and everything. I was like, "Well, how'd you fry them? What'd you fry them with?" She said, "Fry them." We talk about fry them. So she had brought me a bowl of boiled collards with no seasoning. Yeah, and that's what she called good collards. And I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
You had burned grass.
Let me tell you this,
It was the
Steve.
nastiest thing I'd ever.
Well, wait a minute.
It was worse than boiled okra.
I don't know how bad it was, but I'm going to tell you one that I probably could top it. And all I got to do is run over here to the grocery store and get me a can of them.
Yeah.
Have you ever opened up a can of collards?
I have. I've actually found one brand that's not that bad.
Well, you got if anybody's got to describe it as not that bad or she ain't that ugly,
You were hungry,
then you just move on.
Yes.
Well, they put on the can that they're southern style seasoned collards, and they're not bad. I would eat them, but a lot of canned collards I don't care for.
There's a canned collard used to be that came from Winston-Salem when I was younger. I don't even know if they have them anymore, but you could eat them. They were good. But let me give you this little tip. You're going to love it since you're a collard connoisseur. We got Yankees living around here. And these people came into the pig one day. And they could not believe the amount of collards that were grown right around Richland. They couldn't believe it.
People's front yards.
And they were laying out on the side of the road and the leaves, and they stopped and picked up some of these leaves. And they came in and asked how to cook them. And they went back home and cooked them. And it was the worst thing they had ever tried to eat in their life. And what they had picked up was tobacco leaves on the side of the road when the guy was hauling it off. And I'm not making this up,
They
Steve.
deserved everything they got.
And I was sitting there eating, and I couldn't contain myself. But they said,
Goodness.
they said, why y'all
I
buy?
was gonna say
Go ahead.
one last collar story from me. I seen the same with this woman in Florida. In places where they don't get a frost, the collards will keep growing for years.
Yeah.
And she had actually picked the leaves off of them each year and ate them. And the collard plants were 6-7 foot tall, look like palm trees.
Oh,
God. Really?
And that was the most interesting one I'd ever seen. But yeah, in a place where they don't get no freeze.
And the stalk keeps getting bigger too. Bigger around. I mean,
Never heard of a
I've
collard
seen-
tree.
Yeah.
Well, the way she had cut them leaves off, it was ringed. It was ringed just like a palm tree with great big collard leaves at the top that were, big as palm leaves.
Yep.
Oh God.
It's amazing how versatile that plant can be.
It is.
Well, I guess my wife base will put one in the greenhouse here.
Well, it's just like running what we used to do in the spring. You cut the top off of it, kind of, and you crop collards during the summer and in the fall, and after the we'd just take a knife and cut the top off. Well, in the spring, it would start. Some of them would start growing again,
Right.
and it was run up collards is what we called it, and they were so good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've got to wrap up here, Steve.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Enjoy yourself. They bring me some collards.
I hear you. All right.
All right, Theo, our other collard man, give us a call back. I think we got the wires twisted the last go round, and because I was paying attention to Lee.
Well, I kept showing Theo both lines. I mean, I don't know how Steve got in there, but we're good. Call us back,
What's
Theo.
Theo and Theo Jr.?
And both lines were showing
Put that on
Theo's
Steve.
number.
No,
That
no,
was
no, not
crazy.
Steve. The other Theo, the one out there that
the
lives with.
four-legged one at the house.
Yeah, the four-legged one at the house.
Four-legged, yeah.
Yeah, because he's got a telephone number down.
Yeah, I
too.
got him a cell phone last Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
910 Jackass.
Okay.
He's a mess.
Rayford, just, I know we haven't talked about it yet, but I sent you the link to buy your ticket for tonight's ball game.
We're going to talk about the ball game.
And I,
Ring my bell.
oh, okay, and I have posted it
Quietly.
on our, quietly. How do you ring it quietly?
Don't put it close to the
You
microphone.
ring a cowbell choir.
And I have horns also.
Oh, God.
The
We
horns.
knew that. Oh, we knew that.
Not those.
You're what?
We have lots of noisemakers for tonight.
Oh, good God. Okay, y'all, you can find us tonight. We'll be in
Yes.
red, but everybody else is too. But
Cardinals.
you just heard one of the Robbie sent off that did come from Robbie's stash, right?
Yes,
She
brought
sent
that
off,
to
and
me
she got a
this morning.
stash of them.
Yes,
4.
that's what she said.
She's got a truckload coming.
I bought 4 horns
For the
that you
next 2
make
weeks.
noise with, and 2 of them were missing pieces, so I only have 2, but I'll be bringing those
So you're gonna
tonight.
be blowing your horn.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna give them to my
She's
brother and
She's gonna be
sister-in-law.
tooting her own horn.
Yeah.
I'm not blowing those horns because they sound like a freight train coming through. I'm like,
Oh my!
I'll give it to them.
Chris is running so fast to get from one location to another, so he lost his hat.
He lost his. Well, that's a skirt and a hat now.
There's a bra and a hat
He'll
that's missing.
be
Brent?
naked time he gets here.
Hold on, come on, get up there, you dummy. It ran so fast that hat blew off. Time looks good for the game. Time looks good for the game.
Yes, his flight leaves at. Well, it was showing 9:24's gate departure, but now it's scheduled for 9:15. So they're ahead.
9:24 and they're moving up.
Yeah, that's
he
what it
doesn't
says
have to
right
be here
here.
till 7:00. Well, 5:00.
Yeah, but he needs to go home and
I
take a
think we-
nap. He's not had sleep in 27 hours. He said.
Yeah, and he needs to save his voice.
Right.
Type, don't talk.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. But you know what? He cut his vacation trip short
He
just
did
to come back
for this game
and be
tonight.
available tonight. So
Dedicated.
yes,
Dedicated.
dedicated.
We're gonna have this stuff here, and he's in Charlotte now, so he's within driving distance if that plane doesn't
Yes.
take off.
Yes.
Take him
Okay.
Well, I'm
about-
watching it. I
Well, you
watched
might have to
him.
go halfway to get him
Take him about what, an hour to get here to Millis? I mean, get to
from
Ellis.
Charlotte. Yeah,
Let me see.
It's an hour
It's
and 10 minutes
saying
or something.
10 minutes.
Really.
take off 9:54, landing 10:30.
9:54, 9:15.
9:54. Gate departure was 9:15.
Well,
So,
why are they going to sit out there for 30
I
minutes?
don't know. I'm just reading
Well,
what
ask
Discovery.
them.
They
Might
need
be
to
looking for
update
the
it.
Do you have contact with
He
them?
might be looking
Taxi
for
time is
directions.
30 minutes, they said.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
30 minutes taxi
They
time
got
is
to
what
get
they're showing right
directions.
now.
They got to get their GPS right, I reckon. Or get
But he
directions.
should be landing in Jacksonville right around
Years
10:30.
ago, years ago, when I was going down to the islands a lot,
Right.
and the pilots kind of knew me sometimes. Some of them did. And this was well before 9/11. And I never forget, I got over there because TV station, we just put in a brand new radar, weather radar, right? and he was sitting out on the taxiway, on the ramp out there, waiting to take off. And the pilot came on and said, we don't have our weather radar. We're having to wait for the radar so we can make sure we can get airborne and no problems with any storms that might be in the area. And I'm looking, my phone had our radar up on it.
That's his plane coming back.
And it had radar punched up, and I punched it up there, and I'm looking at it and said, there ain't nothing here. There's some stuff over this way and this way. And I called the flight attendant. I said, come here. I said, would you take this and show it to the pilot? And I gave her a business card. And I said, just show it to the pilot. And I hear in about 2 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, we have an alternate radar and we're preparing to take off. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Because I was my connecting flights that sometimes were kind of tight, and I didn't want to miss it.
Yeah.
So I was going to do whatever.
Well, I just put the tracking link on Facebook. So any of you sitting here watching us, if you want to track Chris later, just click on that link.
The flight of Chris and Kathy.
And Stephanie.
I love tracking flights, and I like to track ships in the ocean too.
She has got really no life. You know that?
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
I get tracked a lot at work. They track me.
Well, I know why they track you. I
Yeah,
know some of the
they
places you go.
That's
Right.
really interesting to watch.
Especially when I go to South Carolina,
That's what I
they'll
mean.
track me. Yeah.
That's like on Chris's flight. Evidently, they had to do a go around from Charlotte because they were getting ready to land, and then I noticed they had to do a big sweep go around. So that's probably a lot of traffic there. Imagine so. But you see a lot of things. It's just like when that
Pilot might not have liked what he saw.
when that Cessna went down over there near New Orleans.
Yeah.
I went on the tracking and it showed it up to the point that it dropped. So it's really kind of
We
crazy.
had NTV, our corporate guys, right?
Mhm.
The big wigs down there in Alabama.
Right.
They had 2 planes. I had the tail numbers on the 2 planes. Of course, I would have the tail numbers on the 2 planes. And when sometimes they like to do surprise visits. So I'm checking. I always check the 2 tail numbers to see if either plane was airborne or which way it was going.
Right.
If they're coming our way, I'll make the announcement. Clean your area. Don't want corporate walking through. That was always fun. And I told one of the VP that had our station, I told him one day, I said, listen, you do know that everywhere you go, I know where you are. How do you do that? He had never heard of that. And I showed him how to do it. And he said, oh my God, I'm going to
so
track
you
the
were
other guys.
tracking too.
Well, I did it for
Sure.
not out of curiosity. I did it for self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ball game tonight, 7:00. As far as I know, both ball games started the same time tonight.
Yes.
That's what they were scheduled to do. I don't think anybody was able to arrange for them to be one of them to be moved forward. I hope not.
Yeah.
Not ours anyway.
Right.
Not the Cardinals, because I'll be in a world of trouble. So we'll be there tonight. I hope you will be. Dress appropriately.
Gonna be cold.
And when the Cardinals win tonight, guys, don't go running across the field and start throwing your shirts down and running across the field half naked like they did last week.
I missed that.
Well, you look at the pictures; it's there. I got pictures of them.
Taking their shirts off.
They took them off and ran across bare chested. The guys, boys, people,
Okay.
male guys.
They were hot.
Well, they were happy. They were thrilled. I'd never heard of that. I'd never seen that in a game before. But anyway, they did it. If you do it tonight, I might not be real happy with the outcome. All right.
Gonna be cold.
Dress in layers. For whatever reason, the layers, I always thought it's so that you could take off a little bit here or add more on for extra warmth, or when it got too warm, you could. I think it actually does some cross layering and adds extra insulation, other than just having a big thick coat on. So whatever you do, stay warm. Get yourself some hot chocolate or coffee when you get there. That'll help warm up your system.
Well,
And prepare to clap. The only thing about wearing gloves, you can't clap as loud.
Yeah.
bells.
Stick you some apples.
We got the bells.
You got bells?
Come listen to us. We got the bells. I might let you ring the
I
bells.
should bring my whistle. Do you think the refs might get confused?
Don't go whistles. I get confused. That's just not even nice. Does that thing work when you stomped?
What?
The whistle, will it work when it gets stomped? Probably not.
You're not going to be able to stomp this one. It's stainless steel. You don't have enough energy in your legs to stomp this one.
She said you're getting old again.
I got pliers.
Yeah. You borrow my fixate, didn't you? Need to borrow mine.
I got pliers.
I wouldn't bring my whistle out there. It would
Good.
be confusing.
Well,
Plus,
see,
if somebody was behind
we
me
also have a
doing that,
tube of
I'd
super
yank it.
glue.
I'd yank
For
it
me to
right
fix
out
it.
of their hand.
Yeah, me too. All right, so we will see you tonight at the ball game. Game time is 7:00 kickoff. Be there early. With any luck at all, I hope we will have the stands overflowing.
I hope so too.
I
'cause
guarantee you that.
Last
You're
week,
gonna have to get closer to talk.
I guarantee you that.
last week was phenomenal.
It was
It
a
was
great
just-
game. Nerve-wracking, but a great game.
Standing room only.
Yeah, with the fans, it was just
We need
It was great.
We need everybody there.
Yeah.
And the more of you that sits around us, the less wind that I will
That's
get.
right.
There you go.
So it's self-preservation. Come on down.
Well, as popular as you are, you'll be up in the box anyway.
No, we won't. We got an air conditioner up there, and one guy keeps their air conditioner on.
he does.
Oh, you do.
As cold as it is.
You ought to see the icicles that are hanging in that place.
You should see Chris announcing the game.
Well, I'd reach back there and turn it off. And there's an OFF switch
Chris
somewhere.
is a nice guy. He
That's a-
just
well, he is.
All right,
Yes,
guys
do it.
finished last.
Hey.
We will see you tonight. We'll also see you on Monday morning. Have a great weekend. And yes,
Stay
I
warm.
will post some pictures at some point in time. Hopefully I'll get them all done tonight. But I haven't had a lot of sleep either. So
Great.
if I get a nap, I might get them all done tonight.
Get you in
Yeah,
If
there.
not, I'll get them done tomorrow.
That's right.
Have a great rest of your weekend. And Monday is the 1st of December.
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
There
Great
goes
day. It's a great day for me.
It's also Sunday is the last day of hurricane season for this year.
Mhm.
Anything after this is out of season and is illegal.
Isn't it somebody's birthday Monday?
No.
Somebody's.
Let me check my calendar again.
Somebody he finds he gets to be 65.
It is somebody's birthday.
You're live and local.
Yeah.
Real talk where we're awake, not woke. I figured
Bye,
I'd get your
y'all.
attention sooner or later. Bye. See ya.